So you're going to have to drink hipster champagne.
Yeah, but what I said was if it has Pinot Meunier, don't bother.
It doesn't, so he's not wrong.
Okay.
But it's also a dinner party, so if
It doesn't have
you
Pinot
want to drink the
Meunier.
wine.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
so
we don't know.
is-
We thought we might be
Okay.
drinking a lot tonight, so we were going to spit. Okay. I'm recording, but I can cut this. Okay. What's our... Hi, I'm Amy, and this is Nicole. And this is
Hello.
Blind Tasting with Amy and Nicole. It has a very original name. What's our format?
So last time Amy kind of went in the sequestering room
Yeah.
and I did my thing out here and then we screamed at each other. But we figured this week we would do a little bit more kind of straightforward, still kind of classic Court of Master Sommelier's format, although she can scribble and write things. Pen ready. But yeah, we're just going to kind of switch off and yep.
Okay.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
And then we're going to kind of switch off and then each take a different part. And if somebody has something to add, we're going to go ahead and just interject.
Somebody meaning me or you.
Yes. Or you guys call phone in.
Or Peter.
In the comments, like and subscribe.
Okay, I do have to say it's Nicole's birthday. And so the wines that we're having tonight are wines that we are going to have for this dinner party that we're about to have. And so we just kind of learned this, that Peter told us not to dump the rest of the wine out.
Yeah.
So we're assuming these wines are now of a certain quality.
Yeah.
Which is nice when you're blind tasting to have someone give you something about the wine.
Right, which I feel like is the very MW thing, is like they give you kind of a...
I don't know why you keep saying that they basically tell us what the wines
I'm not saying it's like,
are.
easy and they tell you, but at least there's like some sort of context instead of just like, here you go, have
Your
at it.
context is there's only 50 wines that you're tested on and you only have to do 6 of them. This is a
Walk in the park.
competition.
It's fine. No, it's great. Totally. Okay, well,
I'm just teasing you. Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Oh, sorry, I won't touch if we're being very...
No. Oh, can you not touch?
I don't know. That's when it starts. That's when the clock starts. Now I feel like
Okay.
this is a whole... This is the thing.
Are we Timey McTimerson?
I don't know. You guys are like, we get 7 seconds for the wine, and I was just taking my time, which is also good advice if you are in an exam setting.
Yeah.
I kind of go through all 6, smell, and then if there's one that you really just like, no, just go through that, and you can, split up your time however you want. But I don't know. We can just keep it cash.
Let's do this one casual. So you nose all yours first.
Yeah.
Because this is not, it's a bit polarizing in the MW program. There's like me, I was like, I don't want to know anything about any of the wines. I would take them in their flights,
Okay.
like 2 or 3 or whatever, but I was scared to get ahead of myself. I was actually scared to lose time
Got it.
sniffing them because I would have to subtract that from the 11 minutes
For the
that
4 seconds.
that I got on each wine.
Yeah.
But I actually think that it's a good idea because, for instance, if you have a first flight and it's all Riesling, but you think, because you haven't smelled the others, that it's Chardonnay, but then you smell the second flight and you're like, oh shit, that's Chardonnay. It doesn't mean that the first 3 can't be Chardonnay, but it means they probably aren't Chardonnay. Like, you know what I mean? When you start to
Yes.
hedge your bets,
Yes.
it's in the NW, they say it's never a good idea to second guess the examiner. They're like, do not second guess the
Well,
examiner.
that's very English of them.
Yeah, it is very English of them.
Yeah, that's usually when the panic button sets in and you're like, oh shit, I definitely called these all wrong.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll just kind of like ding, ding, ding. Sometimes you don't get anything, but sometimes you're like, okay. And even just from the nose, you can kind of like know where we're at. Same
Yeah.
thing, I don't think they would put 2 Rieslings back to back or something, but there's no reason they couldn't. But it's just a nice way, I think, to just calibrate and quickly. I'm not like there, like some people do, but just a quick little boop.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming since it's my birthday, Peter probably just poured us Corton Charlemagne.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
So
probably
that's just what we're
Costerie.
gonna- Yeah, but we're going to try to be deductive because it's deductive tasting. It's not what you think you have. It's what is actually in your
Oh,
glass.
that's so good.
So
yeah.
good.
You must use evidence in the glass.
That's right.
To support your.
Should we get like Sherlock
Assertions.
Holmes outfits for next time? Just go
Yes,
crazy.
that's what I got you for your birthday. That's what's in that box over there.
Do you want to, you'll take sight and nose, and then I can get in there?
I don't know.
That's the easiest one.
Is it okay?
Oh, you gotta show them
well,
too.
we don't like do the. This is my wine. I will say, if I were doing this in the MW exam, I would just say I wouldn't even write down clear. I would say gold with like a green hue, because for us we don't. It's not like we get. Do you see what I mean? It's got like a little bit of a green
100%.
ish thing
Yep,
to
secondary.
it. I don't know if you can
For sure.
kind of see that. So just to say, the things that color can give to us are, it can tell us about the grape variety. Like Chardonnay tends to be, not always, more golden. Sauvignon Blanc, more green. It can tell us something about the winemaking. Wines that are oaked can sometimes be a little bit darker in color, and it can obviously tell you about the age of the wine. So if the white wine is a little darker, that might mean it's older. It could mean that it's been done in oak, and it could mean that it's Viognier or something. Color can't be a primary reason why you're saying this is Riesling or whatever.
Right, but I think someone, I forget who, over the years of people that have helped me, was like, color has to come from somewhere. So it is either that kind of like winemaking, grape variety, oak aging. So like this one already, it's not like a straw watery white. So you wouldn't just say, oh, got it, nailed it. But I think like you're saying, that'll kind of get you thinking in the right direction just from looking at it. I feel like people just breeze through color, but I really love it. Not only is it like pretty, but I feel like especially once you get to reds, you can really kind of just, certain things are just never going to be that color. So.
Yeah. Although I had a 14.5% Gamay that I was considering for Wine Slut the other day that looked like Syrah. It was dark and inky. I'm going to do my little swirlies.
Okay, we'll do our chest timer.
So when I smell a wine like this, sometimes I don't even, not even that I don't know how to describe it. I just feel like I know what it is immediately from the nose.
She's mastered wine.
No.
I'm still working towards it, but Amy's just...
No. Smell that. What do you think that is?
Chardonnay.
Yeah, it's Chardonnay. So I think that it's Chardonnay. I smell some oak on it.
I called it already. It's gone through.
It's gone through.
Maybe. No, it was my favorite.
So I think it's Chardonnay, and it's because it's relatively neutral. Like you smell the oak on it. It's not an aromatic grape variety, so I would lean towards non-aromatic grape varieties, which might be, oh my God, we take Riesling, we take Viognier, Gewürztraminer, Muscat, all of those out of there, Sauvignon Blanc. Like what are we left with non-aromatic whites? A lot of Italian whites. Chardonnay, but like a lot of Italian whites are not oaked. And so when I smell something that's neutral and oaked, it leads me to Chardonnay. Now, it could be...
Yeah, again, it could be anything.
It could be anything, you know. Right. So lemon, apple, vanilla, nutmeg, a little marzipan characteristic on this.
Really good. I will just say that. It smells really nice.
It does. It smells really good. So yeah, Peter must have really done good for you.
I think your point too is really interesting is that like when I first got into tasting wine, I would have to scan for notes. Like there's supposed to be this correlation of like, okay, I get apple and lemon, therefore it's X. So it's like you're saying things when you really mean Chardonnay. But I feel like then you keep doing this for years and years and years. I was doing the math today since it is my birthday, and it's like 12 years of getting wines wrong. But then you just get to a certain point where you're like, okay, like it smells like Chardonnay. It's like, yes, we're using those things to describe it, and yes, they're in there, but it's like, I feel like you get to a certain point where you're just like, oh, it's Syrah. Oh, it smells like Pinot Noir. Oh, as opposed to kind of breaking it down into its parts.
Yeah, I did that with our last tasting. It was definitely Sonoma Pinot Noir, even though it was Northern Rhone Syrah.
We just know.
The problem with this is, so you go and you'll say to yourself, oh, it's Chardonnay. But now, like in the MW exam, you have to do exactly what Nicole said, which is like apple, lemon, affinity with new oak, plus XYZ things point to Chardonnay. So you do have to come up with the descriptors.
Yes.
And sometimes I wonder if I smell it and I'm like, oh, I know it's Chardonnay. It's then I just immediately go, well, it's got to be apple lemon. Do you know what I'm saying? Pear, apple lemon, depending on where it's grown.
Right.
Or tropical if it's from Napa.
Right. And
Because
you're not
Chardonnay
like
runs the gamut.
kind of supposed to do that, but we all kind of like do that a little bit, you know. And I think also for the S and all the kind of court stuff, you get points for how many things you say. So you'll be like lemon curd, lemon pie, lemon this. So you really want to get those points. But I think they also focus on the kind of like tertiary other flavors. So it's the things like, you can probably say apple and lemon for most white wines.
Yeah.
But what are those other things that are really going to help you? And I feel like it's really getting those nuances of like, we call them others. So like, what are the kind of herbal characteristics? Is there anything floral? Is there anything earthy, minerality, which is a whole other horse of a different color. But I feel like it's like finding those descriptors and fleshing out the other things that aren't the obvious ones is really what's going to take you to the right place in the end.
Yeah, I always think about it in terms of fruit descriptors and non-fruit descriptors. And I think, is that what you mean by other?
Yeah, they have like a bunch of specific ones like spice and floral and all that stuff. So so like a lot of times people just be like apple, lemon. It's like, great, well, we need a lot. Give us more because that isn't specific enough.
Yeah. I just got to say, I hope this is Riesling. I hope this is the one neutral oaked Riesling that exists in the world. New oak Riesling.
Maybe.
Okay, you want to keep going?
Oh, sure,
I'm
sure,
giving
sure.
it all
Okay,
I've
so,
got. Do you want to say anything else about the nose? Because if I were doing this in
Yeah.
W style, I would say 2 or 3 things and move on.
Yeah, so no, so we would have to kind of flesh it out. So kind of like Amy was saying, another thing is intensity you focus on. So that's like when she means aromatic, is it jumping out at you at the glass? If it's got a lot to say, if it's walks in your tasting room and is like, hi, I'm from New York, it's an aromatic variety. But if it's semi-aromatic, it's not going to have as much to say. So maybe you're like, oh my God, I'm not getting enough. There's not a lot of notes here, and that is okay because that is even itself a clue and can tell you about the wine. So it's not just start like naming fruit basket, but like, wow, is this really in my face, or is it a little bit more subtle, and then go from there. But no, I think we got all that on the nose.
Okay.
But yeah, also youthful too, that we do that. The grid's changed since my 800-year-old days when I was testing. But is the wine youthful? Is it developing?
Yeah, what do you,
I feel like it's still really fresh.
Yeah.
I feel like it just already smells really good quality, but could have a few years of age
yeah.
already.
It's not super primary, so
No.
I would put it in the, 4 or 5,
yeah.
somewhere in there.
But so yeah, so you did your color, we did our nose, and we'll do palate.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's what you get.
I know.
Oh. Oh, that's good.
Wow.
I
That's
would-
not how you're supposed to do it. But
Oh, it definitely is how
Is
you're
that-
supposed to do
yeah?
it. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
MW exam, just to make as much noise as you can in the room to
Good.
distract your other, your compadres.
psych him out.
Yeah. Now, so I'm glad. So we tasted it, and the first thing I can say is like, I'm sure that's Chardonnay.
Yeah.
For the same reasons, like the apple, the lemon, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm assuming that this Chardonnay, because it doesn't have tropical characteristics. I'm sorry, you were supposed to talk about this.
No, this is great. I love
Because
it.
it doesn't have tropical characteristics, and it is on that like more tart spectrum, and it is certainly has high acidity. You know, something that I've started doing with acid, because when you think about it, like all wine is high in acidity. It's all between basically a pH of 3 and 4, and if like water is 7. I say this because I sometimes do these events, and I got a criticism one time.
Wait. Someone
Yeah.
criticized you?
So can
Just
you
one time.
believe it?
One
Can you
time.
believe it? No, the criticism was I wish she had chosen wines that didn't have as much acidity because I went home and had heartburn. And I'm like, well, who knows if the wine give you heart? It was like a little much, but
So
who
just
knows?
all like Southern Rhone whites that no one wants to drink.
Even Southern Rhone whites probably have a pH of 3.8. We're not talking about. I mean, in like the context of between 3 and 4, we would call that low acid in wine, but it's still a lot of a fresh acidity. But this, because of the acidity, I would put this in a cool climate. And one of the ways I've been testing the acidity, because what I'm saying is that it's on this small range, is I swallow the wine and then I let it sit there for a second. And if I start salivating a lot, like 2 seconds after or 3 seconds after, then I'm sure that the wine has pretty good acidity. So yeah, how are you feeling about
So
this
for
wine?
court, same thing. You're going to kind of go down, and like once you just get into your testing routine of tannin, acid, body, length, confirming fruits, confirming oak, like whatever order you do it, it's fine as long as you're just kind of consistent and you got to hit all those. But I will agree with Amy that the first thing when I tasted this that sticks out is the acid.
I'm almost a little like, ooh.
Yeah, so it's definitely,
tangy.
it is quite prevalent, and to the fact that it kind of sticks out more than anything else to me on the palate is really just like that acid is very pronounced. So I'm with you. I just based on the whole kind of fruit character, I wouldn't go Napa at all. There's just no richness. It's really bright.
No tropical notes.
Could be, cooler climate, could be like a Sonoma Coast made really well, but for me, there's just like a certain class kind of that a Burgundy has. But yeah, the acid definitely seems elevated, and sometimes Chardonnay, it doesn't have to be that high, but I feel like the fact that this is really prevalent and pronounced in this wine is something we should note and be aware of.
Yeah.
It could just be a vintage thing, like is there a really kind of cold vintage or something like that would affect that.
Yeah, and so I want to say Burgundy on this wine, only because if Peter didn't open Burgundy for you,
Honestly,
what an
I'm
asshole.
leaving. Out.
Good, are you laughing? Okay, good.
He hates us.
There is something on the finish where the oak feels not as integrated. Like it's almost like there's like a saccharine, vanilla-y character on the wine, and so I feel like it's really nice. But I'm wondering if it needs a little bit more bottle time, or if it's just like a village level wine, or something from.
Could that be, you know this more
the Cote Chalonnais or the Macon. That's what, like, because making better and better wine out
Yeah.
of both of those areas
feel
and
like-
putting oak on those wines.
I feel like those would be much fatter.
Yeah.
But I feel like you would know more because winemaking stuff. Is this sticking out just cool climate, classic Chard, Chablis, some cold vintage, you know, Côte d'Or, or is it a sign that something has been manipulated winemaking wise and it's like a really new world, just trying to do an old world with a little acid?
I mean,
Because it's like, it's pretty zippy.
it is zippy. Yeah.
Are you to that level, or like, I know even your other thing, you're like, well, once it's in the wine, is it an additive or whatever? Like, once it's kind of part of it, it's like acid is acid. It's a molecule. It's not like some people are like, oh, I can taste this is acidulated. I don't get that disjointed quality from the wine, but is that something you think you could pick up?
Only in things like Australian Shiraz where the alcohol is so high and the acid is so high, and those two things generally don't go
happen.
together.
Got it.
Just in natural chemistry of grapes. But now I'm torn. So I think that this is a really good Burgundy that's in a lesser appellation that's trying to be really, really good.
Like an Haute Côte de Beaune or Haute Côte de Nuit or something like that?
Yeah, something like I don't know why I have the Cote Chalonnais in mind, and it's not because I know
It's not because Peter told me before.
No,
you put it in the
Peter
fridge.
didn't tell me, or Macon, because there's this producer that we really love, Chanelot. Franz? Chanelot. I don't think the G is pronounced.
I kind of like it. Shaggy.
Chanelot? Yeah, shaggy, a little Chanelot.
Shaggy.
But anyway, it kind of reminds me of these of those wines because it's like it's really good, and it's only if you kind of sit there with it. We don't have food right now, and we're like sitting with it that I'm noticing that the oak is maybe a little out of joint.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna say a really good wine from the Macon or the Cote Chalonnais, but like top quality wine from those areas, or it could be a village level from, I don't know, Saint Aubin or even Polonium or so, who knows?
Okay.
It is not, to me, if this is Chablis, this is a really renegade style of Chablis that someone's putting a decent amount of new oak on, and people are doing that. So like, I know
They're
this.
doing crazy things.
Yeah, with Roland Laventereau as Kermit producer, the last year that I worked at Kermit, I think they had almost 100% new oak on all their Grand Crus and half on their Premier Crus.
Great.
Some of it I think was to rotate oak in, because you have to do that at a certain point. But anyway, I think that's my guess, and I'm going to go with, oh God, I don't know, maybe 2021. I don't 20.
Okay.
I don't know.
And then,
I'm just
and
sort
we're
of
saying
guessing
like
right
village
now.
level because you do have to, and us like do.
Well, this is the thing. If it's from the Cote Chalonnais, I don't know. I would call it Premier Cru. And so in the MW exam, I would make that distinction. I would say it's one of these two things. It's Premier Cru from the Cote Chalonnais, or it's village level from the Cote de Beaune or something. And then you would have to be like, you have to come up with a decision sooner or later.
For sure.
I'm just, because I don't feel super confident in my response. What I would say on the MW exam is I would probably call it a village level, Polonium Montrachet maybe, because the acidity is so high. You know, I mean, that stuff is just really silly.
There's something like herbal. I don't know.
Are you telling me this is Sauvignon Blanc?
No.
from Napa Valley?
No. Remember last time I was like, it's Sauvignon Blanc. No, it's the thing that you said that you forgot you said. Yeah. No, I definitely Chardonnay, and there is just something very Burgundian about it, even though that's like also, don't at me, like, what does that even mean? But I do think just there's something about the quality of the wine here that would lead me to Burgundy, although I would be in the back of the head, like, okay, what else could it be? You should always be thinking about, like, well, why isn't it that?
Right.
But
that's a really good point. Yeah. If it's not that, what else is it? You know, what else could this be?
Why isn't it that?
So the other guess that I would have had is this could be an excellent wine from Camus River. Like it could be from New Zealand, it could be from Australia.
It seems
really
like
good
it has
Chardonnay.
the pedigree though. Like so that's why I would go Burgundy. I would say 3 to 5 years because it's still really fresh. There's a little bit of complexity here. I still feel like if it was from the Macon or the Chalon, it would be a little bit fatter. I could do something like an Haute Côte, a little bit higher, up, a little bit cooler. I could do Chablis, but I kind of, maybe I'm not up on my vintages because I'm not studying for anything. So I'm thinking like whatever the most recent kind of really cooler vintage, which have there been any? So maybe it's like they've all been freaking hot. I'll eventually say cool climate, Burgundy, 2023, Premier Cru Chablis, although there is something like Pouligny-esque, but I would go Chablis because I feel like that acid, it's really just refreshing and kind of sticking out. It has the pedigree. I don't know, I feel like Pouligny would have maybe like a little bit more of the oak. I don't know, but maybe you're getting that and I don't know. So, okay.
Yeah.
So we're both Burgundy. We're in different parts of Burgundy.
Yeah.
We're Gris Chardonnay. Beautiful wine. Can't wait to have it for dinner.
Where's the dirty rag, Pete?
Yeah, I was saying it should be a bit now that every time he just has a more disgusting thing. And
like a filthy sock?
But we don't mention it,
Okay.
and then it's like a t-shirt, and then everyone's like, did he have a chicken?
Okay,
Is this Joy Fantastic Chardonnay?
you're pretty spot on, Amy.
Oh, I am?
Ruiz.
Oh, look at this.
Premier Cru, old vines.
Wow. Okay.
Durell
Vintage? Wenty.
Gential?
Yeah. We used to sell
Gential,
a ton of that at JG.
I mean, it's a $90 bottle of wine. That's a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah.
2020.
It's Nicole's birthday. We're not slumming it.
Oh, this is really nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a really great quality. I'm really surprised that it was that fresh and kind of lean, because I feel like maybe, I've had a lot of the ones from Chardonnay and Macron are really like fat, but this is, she's not.
Is that going to be backwards
Not
in there?
thick. I don't know.
Why is oh, it's trying to focus. Oh, that was crazy. I feel like I'm going to faint. So I feel like I'm fainting.
We're
I
all
think
blacking
Birdie's locked outside.
Did you hear her barking quietly outside? Okay,
I
so
did.
you know what? So again, like this is the good thing. I feel like had we actually fleshed out descriptors and things like that, like it's kind of like math, at least for the court. If you show your work and you got there and you kind of took a wrong turn where it was like you went, Pouligny-Montrachet instead of Ruy, if you show your work and you're kind of right with everything else, you'd probably get a pass on this, I imagine. So,
Oh, yeah.
Or if you just got the wine right, like our master, you would just also get the pass.
But we've actually weirdly been drinking a lot of wines from the Coachellines because I can't afford Burgundy anymore. And so I mean, the fact that there is a $90 Ruy, not that it just hasn't
It's
historically
wild.
been
It's
the
wild.
case. It is kind of wild. I wonder, where did you get this, Peter? This is a Jim Knight selection?
Jim Knight joint.
Oh, I haven't.
Do you have Winehouse?
I did not look in that box, I swear to God.
No, Amy had no prior knowledge.
Amy had no prior knowledge.
Oh, do you have anything else to say here?
No, I just wish I would have.
I am so peaked.
But that was a bone to pick with you off camera, obviously. But your friend, we cut it. No.